Do you guys have one of these? Some young people do and some don't, so I'm wondering how common it is in y'all. That's called a bone, so yes, it is common. Well, that is a tendon. It's still very common, I'll give you that, because we all have it. It's just, in some people it's way more visible than in others. Like, I feel like in my case it's very visible. But I also have like a bone right here. Like, that bone is there in everyone. It's just, in my case, you can see it a lot more than you can for most people. But still, you're not that wrong, but you're still very wrong. Hello BabyQueers and welcome back to my channel. I am not sure we've ever been on Confidently Incorrect before, but it should be fun, right? Because guess what, we all have moments where we're just stupid because we weren't thinking in that moment. So I'm not even like coming for these people because I feel like this, at least some of these, like, can happen to anyone, really. But if you're on the internet, you will be called out for it. So anyways, that's what we're doing today. Before we get started, y'all gotta get hydrated though. So grab some water, or some tea, or whatever else you like to drink, and then we'll continue. Are you hydrated? Good. Let's go. If you're 30 or older and can't spell, I'm about to delete you. Anything you say is irrelevant to me. Mostly everyone I have on here went to school in this good school system. You want to be rappers and poets and motivation speakers, please spell shut right, please. If you're posting, they're never gonna lend a hand, gotta go grind for what you want. Y'all doubt it, but I'ma go and get it. Please go do some reevaluating. Yes, your computer lingo or keyboard slang is different than correct grammar, but don't front like you do it on purpose. Y'all don't, lol. Facts. I like this notion, but there are several grammatical error in this very status. That's kind of the thing, like, coming for someone because their grammar or spelling is off, because you don't know how else to argue with these people, because you just want to argue with these people. It seems kind of strange to me personally, but if you're trying to make a point of please learn to spell correctly, maybe you should spell things correctly. Because you didn't do this as a shitpost of, haha, wouldn't it be so funny if I just misspelled like 20 words in this, you know? You didn't do this as a joke, you were full on serious, trying to type it out right, but didn't. So, please sit your stupid ass down and maybe listen to yourself, right? So, I'll see you in a bit when you fixed your errors in this post trying to call out other people for making errors. Reading 20 pages per day is 30 books a year. Saving $10 per day is $3,650 per year. Running 1 mile per day is 365 miles per year. Becoming 1% better per day is 37 times better per year. Small habits are underestimated. Some dodgy math on the last one, because 365 times 1% would be 3.6 times better after a year. He's American, give him a break. You know, that's not really how percentage work. If today you're at 100% and you get 1% better, then that is your new 100%. So it's not really right. But to be fair, like, the overall point still stands. I mean, kind of expecting humans to work like machines and actually become better every single day. You know, not too big of a fan to begin with, but like, overall, kind of as like inspirational, being like, you don't have to do like a lot of one thing every day. Like, you don't have to eat completely healthy and work out for 2 hours every day or read a whole book a day. Small progress will add up over time. So I don't want to come for the wholesomeness of the original post, actually. But math on the internet is always gonna be a fun one. Bad Bunny has endorsed Kamala Harris. He's not even American? Puerto Ricans are American citizens. Readers added context that they thought people might want to know. You rated it as not helpful? Okay. Community noting a comment is so freaking weird. Oh my god, y'all are obsessed with me. A correction, we are not obsessed with you. We're just preventing the spread of misinformation. We'll learn more about community notes here. Okay, but my original comment is correct. He's not American, he's Puerto Rican? Once again, Puerto Ricans are American citizens. Without Googling, name a historic famous battle. Puerto Ricans are United States citizens. As such, all Puerto Ricans who carry a passport carry a United States passport as shown in the picture. There is no battle or contradiction. Puerto Rico is not part of America. Puerto Rico is not part of America. And someone else added context again. Puerto Rico, on July 25th, 1952, attained a full measure of self-government consistent with Puerto Rico's status as a territory of the United States. Puerto Rico is US territory, therefore making its citizens Americans and thus a part of America. I mean, part of the United States of America, because America is kind of a whole continent with different countries. But either way, how do you not know this as an American? And how are you gonna double down like 3 or 4 times, be like, no, but I'm right. Puerto Ricans aren't Americans, without taking 10 seconds to Google. This is it's giving me flashbacks to like our facepalm video we did recently, because it's like, how? Being wrong once, okay, but then someone's like, hey, actually that's not right. And instead of you Googling to check if the other person might have a point or if you are actually right, you just double down without taking 10 seconds to Google, when you literally have your phone with internet on, right in your hand. That's the strange part. But do you want to know how I know Puerto Rican is part of America? Is because I was watching RuPaul's Drag Race, and when I started watching it, I was also like, wait, why do we have a contestant from Puerto Rico? And then I Googled it and I was like, oh, it's part of the US. Okay, cool. And then I continued watching my episode. You know, so, a helpful hint at the side, I guess. No amount of physical fitness or combat training will overcome the fact that an untrained man who spent the last 20 years in front of a computer is roughly equivalent in strength and combat ability as a woman who spent the last 20 years in the Special Forces. Are we underestimating Special Forces or overestimating men? I feel like we're just wildly overestimating. Well, this person's wildly overestimating men. Like, sure, on average, men have more muscle mass and therefore tend to be stronger than a lot of women. But do you know how much combat training and strength someone in Special Forces has? Because I feel like you don't. Like, I can't like be out here giving you numbers like, oh, but a typical Special Force officer. But isn't that just common sense that these people train multiple times a week, if not every day, to be fit, to be healthy, and have combat training? Because what, you're gonna need it? And then you're gonna be like, well, no, but a man who just is a couch potato essentially is gonna be stronger and more able to win in a... How did you... I felt like it was common sense, but I'm beginning to think common sense isn't that common, which kind of defeats the whole point of common sense, really. Here in Parkour Civilization, no one dares to jump for the beef. I love how 3 different people all said civilization instead of civilization with a Z, including the OP. Don't get me wrong, I'm not laughing at anyone's spelling mistake or anything, just pointing out that when people set an example, it is followed until proven wrong. I mean, yeah, to be fair, there are words where if you're not really sure how to write it correctly because you don't use it that often, you might just like copy the spelling of someone else. You're not entirely wrong there. But how do you not know that there is a difference? Not in every word, but in a few words, like color, you know? Like I think it's the American spelling with just like C-O-L-O-R, and the British add a U after the O, you know, C-O-L-O-U-R. Like, how do you not know that American and British spelling is sometimes different. And you just feel the need to call people out. It was like, I'm not making fun of your spelling, but I just think it's interesting. It's such a douchey thing to say, and you're absolutely making fun of these people. But you want to be like, no, but I'm not making fun. I'm better than that. I just find it so interesting. It's making fun of them in the douchiest way. It's not just being like, you stupid, you spelled it wrong, you know, like, this is not better, and you're also incredibly wrong. The most remarkable thing about Biden's statement, it was true. 1 in 1,000 African Americans have been killed because of the coronavirus. So 0.001% is a horrifying stat? Thank God I'm a math major. Do people not understand how numbers work? That number sounds amazing to me. Only 0.001% have died. Okay, let me calculate this out for you. 1 in 1 would be 100%, 1 in 10 would be 10%, 1 in 100 is 1%, therefore 1 in 1,000 is 0.1%. But if you're a math major, you might want to drop out. Or you might want to actually attend any of your classes, because... yeah. Again, math on the internet is always fun, because some people are just gonna, like, not check your math, and just be like, well, actually, no, that number doesn't sound bad. To be fair, people shouldn't have died to begin with, you know, but with any illness or virus or anything, of course people are eventually gonna die. That number would be preferable, the one he very falsely calculated. It would be preferable, of course, if less people died, but you can't make the stats seem better because you can't math. That's not a good idea, actually. Okay, the author of Handmaid's Tale actually posted this picture. Okay, the author of that book used Islam, not Christianity, as a model for her imaginary worlds. This is obviously true, as it resembles Islamic culture and law, and not Christian. Listen, I was kinda raised Christian, but more in a not really. It was officially my faith until I, like, left the church, rather than I actually was, like, forced to go to church every week or something. But how do you not see the resemblance to Christianity? And also, how do you not know that a lot of religions have sort of, like, similar, like, traits or, like, baselines? Anyways, if the author posts this actual picture, how are you gonna, like, argue with that? That's a very surefire way to be wrong, actually. Yeah. That's just wrong. Like, I'm not coming for you seeing, like, similarities to, like, Islamic culture or religion. Sure, but still, don't argue with the author about what they base something on. You can interpret it in a lot of different ways, probably, but arguing with how they came to this or where they got the inspiration from is a very quick way to be wrong. You know, and also, I never finished, well, I didn't read it as well, but I also didn't finish watching it, and I always wanted to continue it. But with the state of the world and where the US is headed right now, I feel like I really can't. It was a good show to watch for me, because it was so dystopian, and it was, like, chilling, but now it's just a little too realistic, and it's just instantly, like, more horrifying now, you know? You might think it's weird that the tiger got scared by the cat, but you have to remember that the tiger is also just an orange cat. Truer words have never been spoken. Tiger is an orange big cat. It's not a cat. Go back to school. Okay, you need to go back to school, pal, because they're literally called big cats. You're the one who need to go back to school. Does he know? Okay, I'm just gonna assume you're trolling. A tiger is not a cat is the wildest thing I have heard today. I feel like it's also the wildest thing I've heard today. Like, they are literally cats. Not just because they absolutely do behave like cats. They behave like cats because there are cats. They're just significantly bigger than, like, a normal house cat, obviously. But how do you Again, how do you not Google before saying something? But also, have you ever just like looked at a tiger? Apart from the fact that they do very obviously give orange cat energy, but some dogs are able to like give orange cat energy too. Some other animals are able to give orange cat energy too. But that doesn't mean that they aren't actually just big orange cats, you know? I need some of y'all to realize that women do not, in fact, expire at 30 years old. Age. Percent of women who got pregnant after 6 months or pregnant within 12 months of trying to get pregnant. Okay, can someone share with me how a 44-year-old woman can get pregnant naturally? Serious question. Okay, this chart is bullshit. A woman over 40 has like a 1% chance of getting pregnant even if she has a load shot on her every day for a year. At 45, the eggs are completely unviable and few and far in between in the vast majority of women. Again, this chart is bullshit. Because you know so much? I mean, sure, blindly trusting anything someone posts on the internet, not the best idea, so I can understand to an extent to, you know, kind of question it or not like blindly believe it. But how are you going to be so confident? Like, did you study medicine? Did you study anything in the medicinal field? Or biology? Because I have a feeling you didn't. I mean, sure, neither did I. That's why I'm not going to be so confident and be like, no, but they only have a 1% chance. That's literally not it. Like, sure, the older the woman is when she gets pregnant, the more risks there are. You know, like, younger women have, like, an easier time really having healthy babies and having, like, less problems with their pregnancy. But still, like, how are you going to be so confident when you don't know anything? What the crap is this? It's just a knockoff fake of Ghosts. It is the original version by the UK, but I personally do not think it's as funny as the US version. Wait, how is Ghosts a fake knockoff of Ghosts? This is literally the show Ghosts. Again, if you don't know something, why are you so confident about it? You know? Like, I don't have a problem with people who say, like, the knockoff or the remake or something is better than the original. Because I just think it's weird for people to just, like, blindly argue that, no, the original is always better. Because oftentimes it's really just, like, a matter of, like, taste. Whether you like the original better or the remake. So, you know, you're allowed to like the remake better. But how are you gonna come for something and be like, no, but this is a knockoff, this is not the original, when it literally is? It seems strange to me. Dear Brits, if you're gonna drop the word meal in the sentence, I had a meal, drop the A too. Example, I had the food. Not only do you get to drop another word, but it makes more sense too. As a Brit, I couldn't care less about what an American thinks about grammar and syntax in the English language. It's I could care less. Okay, math debates and grammar debates. Because literally, people say both. Like, some people say I could care less, some people say I couldn't care less. But either way, again, how are you gonna just argue about something like this? Like, that's the great thing about grammar. Like, there are very strict rules, but also kind of not. Like, you can get away with a lot while speaking a language. And also, how are you just gonna... I don't get people, really. And it's giving very similar vibes to the one in the beginning who was like, no, but if you can't spell, I can't take you serious while not being able to spell themselves. You know, I'm getting those vibes, actually. Except that's bullshit. This isn't 1953, it's the 1980s at the earliest, considering the woman in the shoulder pantsuit like late 80s, early 90s. Flying was much more affordable back then. Take your bullshit and shove it up your ass. Okay, the average round-trip domestic flight in 1980 costs $529. In 2024, it's $367. Accounting for inflation, it's nearly 6 times more expensive. You're an idiot. The 1980 price you quoted was accounting for inflation. Nice try though. If that was the price according to inflation, like if you calculate it backwards, basically, like, well, if the inflation would have been as much as it is now, back then it would have been $529. That still means it was more expensive. What are you talking about with it was more affordable? It kind of wasn't. Like, a lot of things were cheaper, but flying was not one of them. You know? What do you... Numbers and grammar. That's all I have to say, really, because that's amazing. And people not being able to read charts. Like, I feel like there have been worse ones on this particular subreddit where people just don't know how to read charts. But this one is also up there with it. Okay, anyways, I feel like I am losing all knowledge of numbers and grammar the longer I look at the subreddit, so I'm gonna leave it here before I don't know how to talk at all, because I already can't talk. You know... So anyways, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you feel better about sometimes being kind of confidently incorrect yourself, because again, we all kind of have moments where we say silly things. You know, and it's just kind of hilarious when people like double down on it without Googling or seeing if the other person might be right. You know, that ends up being funny, so maybe don't be like that. You know, like, it's okay to be wrong. We can't know everything. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're hydrated. If not, maybe consider drinking something now. And I'll be back in a few days with my next video.